Hi, welcome to Eden's Fun Crochet. I'm Eden, and this is my crochet podcast. Thank you for clicking on this video and watching. Today, before we get into my whips and finished objects, we are going to talk about crochet starter kits and everything that you could possibly need for one. Starting from a beginner, I don't want to spend too much money because I don't think they're actually going to do it, kit, which is totally what I started out on, and then to more of a expensive, a little bit more money because you know that this is something that they're going to run with, which I did not start with, but I do have now. So, I put everything in a cute little basket, and so we will start with the hook size. So there are lots of different kinds of hooks. There are metal hooks, plastic hooks, wood hooks, hooks without a handle, hooks with the soft handle, hooks with hard handles. You've got so many different options. I don't even know where to begin. Actually, I do. So it goes with the yarn size. So on the yarn, it will tell you what hook is best for that yarn. But a basic size 4 worsted weight yarn will usually tell you a 5.5 hook, which is this. Just a basic, what you want for basic starter kit hook. Anywhere from a 5, 5.25, or 5.5, which is like an H to an I. I have a 5.25, which is an I, and then I have a 5.5, which is an I. So, like, they're basically the same thing. Or an H, which is a 5. And then, so that's just a basic beginner's hook, is just a metal. I would suggest to not start with plastic because they can break, snap right in half. Not fun, waste of money, and it can potentially hurt your hand. I have broken plenty of plastic hooks. I tend to hold my hooks very tightly, and that is why these hooks are also very good if you hold tightly, because it's softer and it helps with arthritis, carpal tunnel, just holding it tightly. I've given myself carpal tunnel because of how tight I hold things and have like ruined my hands. And I'm only 20 years old, but it's fine. So yeah, so this is a good, but they are a little bit more expensive. This is Boye, I don't know, Boye, and it's just a Walmart brand of like the more expensive hook brands, which is like a Clover, or I don't remember the other one, but those are the nice ones that if you wanted to spend a little bit more money on, that would be like the Clover brand, but I just got mine from Walmart. And then got a little bit more of a fancier hook, which has a hard handle, which is I didn't think I would like because it's such a bigger grip and it's hard. It doesn't hurt my hand as much as these hooks do, but it isn't as good as the Boye. Although I got this for free. It's just a regular hook that someone made into a fancy one, but you can buy all sorts of things like this on Etsy or online. So those are the hook sizes. And then, like I already said, you want just a regular 4 yarn. I know that when you're starting out, you want to go for the fluffy and the sparkly and all sorts of fun things. But it's not going to do you much good if you start out with something really fluffy or something really big, or sparkly or different, or because it's going to be a little bit harder to see your stitches and identify what you're doing. So size 4 or 3, if you want to go a little bit smaller, is good. For starters, it will tell you, it will have a picture of a skein of yarn, which is this is a skein, and it will have a number inside. So that is where it tells you what yarn size and then what hook size to use, or needle size if you would prefer to knit. So that is that. You can, so if you want to do a bigger yarn, or when you choose to go up in yarn, you will want to go up in hook size. So if you have a size 6 yarn, then you'll want a bigger hook like a size 8. And when starting out with crocheting, sometimes it is nicer to use a bigger hook because it gives you bigger stitches, but that does not mean you should use a bigger yarn, because then it will be the same as using a regular hook with a regular yarn. So that is for the yarn. Good brand to start with is just Red Heart yarn, acrylic. You don't want to start with like wool or anything like that, because it's a little harder to work with and it can be scratchy, and if you're a sensitive person or giving this to a sensitive person as a starter kit, then you don't want to irritate them with giving them natural fibers. So acrylic is something really good to start out with, and it's the cheapest option you have. And then stitch markers. So when I first started, I bought super cute little, they're not that cute, they're just little plastic stitch markers. I never use them. I use safety pins. That is right. Girl's best friend when it comes to any kind of crafting, especially crocheting or knitting. They are great for like marking progress, or putting your putting it in your working loop, so that you don't, so if like your string gets pulled on, it won't come apart. It's good for marking where you increased or where the end of your row is, for identifying anything that you have a hard time identifying. They are amazing, and there's a lot more room in it than a little like stitch marker. So that is, and it's cheaper. Honestly, buying safety pins is so much cheaper than buying super cute stitch markers. With that said, I do use stitch markers now later in life. They're also really good progress reporters, because they're like really easy to spot. And for me, I use safety pins and these so I can tell them apart. So they are usually just some cute little dangle with a clip. That is typically what stitch markers look like, or like cute little plastic hook-ons or anything like that. You can also use paper clips if you don't want to use safety pins, especially if you're giving it to someone younger and you don't want a lot of being poked and stuff like that. Paper clips is good because you can like slip it on and it doesn't fall off, and then slip it off. So safety pins and stitch markers, basically the same thing. One's a little more cheap, and you're not wasting your money on a beginner starter kit or putting a little bit more money and effort into the gift or for yourself. Sometimes it's good to just treat yourself, bro. And then scissors. So I prefer a smaller pair of scissors. These don't look that small. Compared to these, they're small. Mine are even smaller than this. I have no idea where they went. I did have one pair that was like super cute and yellow, and I've had them since second grade, and then I lost them at college. Anyway, So for someone younger, you'll want rounded scissors so they don't poke themselves or injure themselves. Smaller is, in my opinion, better for road trips, putting in project bags. It's just more convenient and fits into places better. Or you can use a bigger pair of scissors or a smaller pair. It doesn't really matter. And this is a good way to, like, if you want to put a little bit more effort and money into the starter kit, then you can have, there are so many different kinds of scissors. There are Eiffel Tower scissors and fairy scissors and frog scissors, and there are so many different kinds of scissors that you can find and personalize for your person. Mine, as you can tell, everything is red because that is my favorite color. And so it would be personalized. Like you can like have it all be random if you don't really know the person that well, or you can have everything be one color or one theme, because you can have like your stitch markers have cute little frogs, and you can have cute little frog scissors, and you can have a cute little frog measuring tape, and like cute little frog everything if you so desire. So that's something that you can either spend $1 on at the dollar store, just a pair of scissors, or spend much more money on if you want to get it more customized for your person. And then we have measuring tape. I don't have a fancy measuring tape, believe it or not, and it's not red, believe it or not. I used to have a red one, no idea where it went, but it is good for checking your gauge. It's good for a lot of different things, especially like hats. If you're measuring it for a certain type of head or different things like that. If you are following pattern, it's really good for following patterns. I suck at following patterns. Like I can read patterns. I just prefer to do everything on my own and mess up and try again. I am a difficult learner when it comes to those kind of things. A project journal. So just an empty journal. Really good for writing down what you worked on, what you didn't like about it, what yarn you're using, what hook size you're using, the gauge that you're using. There are like project journals that you can buy that have like, that give you spaces for it. So it says project name and then hook size, and it gives you like spaces to write everything. So that's something that you can personalize for your person if you want to or not. Just buy them a cheap book from the dollar store or a project journal off Etsy or something. I did not use one when I first started crocheting. And it's not absolutely necessary for a beginner, especially if you don't think that they're going to stick with it. I don't go anywhere without my project journal. I started it with like patterns and like things I wanted to remember. So what I put into my project journal is things I don't want to forget, that I don't even realize that I'm going to forget, like hook sizes on projects. Like I started a pair of socks, my only pair of socks I've ever made, over a year ago. I did not think that it was going to take me that long to do. Forgot the hook size, had to figure it out. This was not a problem when I was first starting because I only had one hook. But a project journal is definitely something that not more advanced, but people who crochet more enthusiastically would have. I put ideas in, so like things that I want to do, or like different ideas for different projects. I have like patterns or like my thought process. This was actually for the socks. So when I did one a year ago, I could do the other one now, which was actually really nice. And then like thinking projects out. So this is for my Jade and Stitches blanket that I am doing for 2020. It's really good. Write down your hook size. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give you. So yes, a journal is important, and then you can have like a cute little pen to go with it. So those are good for a little bit more enthusiastic beginners. And then I almost forgot needles. I did not even think about needing a needle when I first started crocheting. You don't absolutely need one because I did a lot of my weaving in ends and stuff with my hook, or you can even put two panels together with a hook. I didn't own needles until way later in life. You can get just a cheap plastic one at like Walmart or any craft store. The only problem is they can snap. They are a little bit bendy, so they're kid friendly, but if you're anything like me, they can and will snap. The con with these is that the eye of the needle is a lot bigger than the shaft of the needle, and so if you're trying to get through tighter spaces for any reason, not a lot with crochet, but if you're trying to go through like a plastic mesh or something, these suck because the eye is too big. The eye is the same as the needle, which is really nice, but it's also a big enough eye that you can stick yarn in. I have seen needles where the eye is squishable. It's like a wire, and so it's like really, it can like be as fat as you need it to be to stick any size yarn you need through it, and then it will squish when you're pulling it through something. I do not own one, but that is the one that I would recommend because it doesn't have the problem of the plastic ones. So that is a beginner starter kit to crocheting, from cheap to expensive. It does not cost that much to start. You can obviously just buy a hook and a yarn. You probably have a lot of these things lying around your house, like scissors, measuring tape, safety pins, stuff like that. But that is for that. Okay, now on to the next part of the video. And I would just like to give my friend Megan a shout out because when I got dressed this morning, I totally was like, this is a Megan outfit. She is a friend from college, my roommate, and she totally dresses like this. When I bought this sweater, it totally made me think of her. And I absolutely love Megan, and she has started to crochet, so maybe she will watch this or will want to get a starter kit. But yeah, I just wanted to have her appreciate my outfit. So finished objects, I only have one. I don't have a lot of works in progress either, things that I've actually progressed in this week. I have been doing a lot of writing and like reading this week, which I used to do a lot, like it was my life, and then crochet kind of took over. So this last week I have gotten back in that mojo for some reason, and I absolutely love it, and so I didn't stop. But it has made me be less productive in my crocheting. Hard to balance both, apparently, in the life of Eden. So my finished object are my socks. I will probably put a much better picture because they don't look that good off my feet, and you can't really see my feet while I'm sitting on the floor. So, I will put a picture on Instagram if you want to follow me at Eden's Fun Crochet if you so desire to do so. So So the problem with these socks is I have no idea how to make socks, and I refuse to follow the pattern. So I wish I would have done a circle for the toes instead of like a line, which I have seen them done with a line, but I don't like the way that they look on my feet. I had no idea what I was doing for the heels, so I'll probably try something different next time. I do have enough yarn probably to do ankle socks with the same yarn. I do wish I would have done the toe and the heel the same color, so I'll probably do that for my ankle socks. And then I did a folded cuff. The yarn that I used is, it's part acrylic, part wool. 75% acrylic, 25% wool. It's Plymouth Yarn Company. They're two different kinds because the one has like the specs and the one doesn't, and so one is Encore Tweed and one is just Encore. They don't have color names. The one with the tweed is 5854 and the one without the tweed is 6006 as their colors. I got these at my local yarn store called Heinzelman? I think it's Heinzelman. So that is my one finished object. And then for my works in progresses, you have already seen these. I talked about this one last time. I was making, so I have these squares that this old lady gave me, tons of them, whole grocery bag full of them. And I was going to make a blanket, and I figured out the whole design that I wanted, and then I decided I was going to do a cardigan instead. Started doing that, decided I didn't want to do a cardigan, I did want to do a blanket. So now I am currently covering all of the squares in this sparkly white yarn. So that is what I'm doing for that one. I have no idea. It's a thinner yarn. I don't use a lot of thinner yarns. I'm a worsted weight kind of gal. But I'm trying to venture out into the world of yarn and things. And no, I do not have the coronavirus. I just have a really sore throat because I have chronic stomach issues, and I was throwing up last night, and my throat is sore from all of my throwing up. You did not need to know that, but I thought it would be better than making you think that I have the coronavirus. So this is another project from the old lady. It was actually knitted. It is a baby blanket. It is now. I don't know what it was meant to be, but it is a baby blanket now. It was knitted. It was still on the hook, still on the needles, and I took it off the needles. I don't knit. I've tried to knit in the past. I do it very tightly, which took me a long time to get over with crocheting, and knitting is worse. But I do applaud anybody who has the patience to knit. I do know a lot of people who started out knitting and then ended up loving to crochet instead. So what's the point of going backwards when I know that I'm just going to end up crocheting anyway? That was so conceited. I had to look up how to cast off, and then I'm not even sure if that's what I'm supposed to call it. Anyway, I cast it off, and then I'm doing a crochet border, so I'm doing a 3-row border. It's not turning out exactly like I imagined, but I'm going to give it away anyway, so I don't really care. I'm doing a 3-row border, and I just started my 3rd row. Last time you saw this, I was halfway through the 1st row, and I did most of the other row and the 2nd row yesterday while I was watching movies with my brother. So that is my 2nd work in progress. My only work in progress. I haven't made any crochet scrunchies. I try to do something a little bit different. Sorry, my dog is on my table. Get off. Sorry, she's not supposed to be up there. Scrunchies. I tried to make a different kind of scrunchie yesterday, but totally failed. I think it's because the yarn is too thick. Because I used a 4 instead of like a 3 or something. So I will try to do something a little bit differently with that. I do want to do more than just the ones that I have, especially on my Etsy, because believe it or not, I haven't sold anything yet. But it's okay. Time, effort, and learning from my mistakes. It's all going to work out in the end, and life is fantabulous. I did, however, I didn't start a new project. Okay, it's going to look like it when I bring it up next week. So I'm just going to bring it up now and pretend it's a work in progress that I'm just barely starting, but I am not starting it because it is a unfinished object that I started a very, very long time ago. Leg warmers! Isn't this just beautiful? Look at these colors. This is self-striping yarn. Super Savers Red Heart Stripes in Favorite Stripe and colorway. And yes, Stripe A, because it has a little thingy over the E. Actually, I think that's for the Spanish one. Never mind, but I call it Stripe A anyway. Favorite Stripe. So it is beautiful. I was going to use the whole skein for one and have it be super like slouchy. But I absolutely love the length that it's at right now. But I have leftover. But I am also petite. I'm very petite. I'm only 5 feet tall. So if you want I will put up a tutorial for this. So I'm telling you now. If you want yours a little bit more slouchy, you will want to use the whole skein if you are a tall person. If you want it slouchy and you are tall, use the whole skein, please. I beg you. So it is a 2 skein project. I have not started the other one yet. I made this one before I went on my religious mission last year. So I have no idea where in the heck I decreased. So I will try and figure that out, and then I will record it and upload a tutorial for it, and I will probably have it all done by next week, hopefully. And so this will definitely be either a work in progress or a finished object next week. But I'm not starting a new project. I'm finishing old projects. Same with the socks. Same with this. It wasn't my goal originally this year to not start new projects, but then I was given so much stuff. And when I started out this year, I thought I was going to be in California the whole time and not crocheting my life away. So it is a New Year's resolution in April to not start new projects, which is so hard because I bought a pattern, which I do not do, on the November Sky Beanie by Hannah on the Cozy Cottage Crochet. I bought yarn for it, 2 different yarns for 2 different hats, which I am so excited for. And I will probably start it this year, but I just want to get some things done before I do that because I have so much freaking crap. And not enough time and energy to do everything and start new projects. I love starting new projects, which is why I have so many, but also because someone else likes to start new projects and gave me all of her half-finished things. So I haven't even started on half of them, and so I'm excited to get that done. And anyway, so I am accountable for my actions, but I am not starting a new project, so when this shows up next week, you will know that I did not start something new. But I'm really excited because this is beautiful, and it looks even more beautiful on my legs. I have no idea what I'm going to wear it with, but I will find a way to wear these because they are just beautiful. I honestly don't even wear that much of the things that I crochet. I wore my rainbow kimono, and that's pretty much it. And beanies. I love beanies. But I don't even wear my hair scrunchies because my hair is too short. Because it's layered, and so you can't get everything into ponytail. I can get it into a slight ponytail with, but everything ends up falling out. So it has been several years since I've been able to put my hair in a ponytail. I have gotten close and then I cut it again. But this time I'm not cutting it until this time next year. Okay? I have committed myself to that. So I have no idea how long it's gonna get. It has grown about, because I haven't cut my bangs at all. So this, I shaved my head in October of 2018. 2018? Yes. So it's been a year and a half since I've shaved my head. So it'll probably get like this long. That would be cute. And then I'm gonna cut it because I have plans to live in a van. I know it's weird, but I don't want long hair when I live in a van. I've never been a long hair kind of person, but I just want to be able to put my hair in pigtails and braid it and dye it and do things with it. You know, I have had short hair for so long that I missed the whole Kool-Aid thing. And when it was barely long enough to do something with, it was black. So you couldn't Kool-Aid it. So when I get longer hair, I'm going to bleach it and Kool-Aid it. I know that sounds really stupid, and it is stupid. But I am going to have fun with my life. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this. Crochet is awesome. Thank you for watching my crochet podcast and coming on this adventure with me. This is what it's going to be like most of the time because I am not a nervous mess anymore. So this is the craziness of my life. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!